Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to Popternative. This is, of course, the talk show and podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, news, pop culture, sports, everything really, depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. You will, of course, recognize my guest from Superman and Lois, which is on the CW. Jordan Elsass is with us. Jordan, welcome to Popternative, man.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Appreciate it.
I'm excited to chat with you. I mean, it's pretty crazy because we know nerd culture and geek culture is huge, but this show dropped, the pilot dropped and everything, and it's just kind of been crazy. Like immediately the fan base just erupted. What's that been like for you so far, man?
It's been crazy. It's definitely, I think the show has made a splash so far. I think it's nice to see. I mean, it's exciting. I mean, as you might imagine, I think we're all really, really excited over here in Vancouver. I think it was really nice. I think the biggest thing was just seeing what we've done and what we've put together after so many months of just like not knowing, and also not like being in the midst of a pandemic, like nothing to do, nobody to talk to out here. So it's just like, it's nice to finally put a name to, or put a face to the name, I guess, if that makes sense. Like put the show, like finally get to see the show. We've been working on it for so long, and all we saw was the scripts. And then all of a sudden we finally get to see this finished product, and it's just like, oh, it's so refreshing.
It's a different dynamic, a different world, right? Where like you're working on it and then you like you do the playback.
Definitely. Way different. I mean, way different. Yeah. It's not even comparable. Like when I watch the show, and it's tough for me to watch myself, but when I do, I'm kind of like, oh, this is oh, this is, and then we were there, but I remember the sound guy was standing right there, and that's always the case, but even more so with this show, just because I didn't get to see as many of the dailies. I didn't get to be behind the monitor as much, and just being on set so much and getting so comfortable with everyone there. And then just, kind of, I don't want to say taking it for granted, but just like being there so often that you kind of forget that you're even on set and making a show, and it just becomes work.
Absolutely.
And then, seeing it's crazy.
No, for sure. And it's cool because, everyone knows Superman. Superman's been around for ages.
Totally.
We're reading the comic books, we're watching the movies, but we now get a glimpse to his family and Superman's kids and the brothers. And that whole dynamic is just amazing. What was the reaction on social media because, you and Alex, you guys are really like active on social media, talking to fans and everything. What was the reaction like? Just kind of seeing the reaction of the fact that Superman's kids are in this. We get to know about them, the relationships, for everything. It's a cool dynamic, man.
Right, definitely. I remember when the trailer dropped. I mean, even before that, honestly, like when I first booked it, when the Deadline article came out that me and Alex had gotten the roles, probably over a year ago, probably last February.
Yeah.
And and that feels like ages ago. It's all this stuff that's happened in the meantime.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. But when that article first came out, I think the reaction was, everyone was excited, but they were also skeptical. I think, I think they didn't know how
it was new, right? It was different.
100%. I mean, I didn't blame anyone. I think we were all, I think even me and Alex, we're not sure how this was going to turn out. I didn't know. We barely knew each other at the time. We'd met each other once for 5 minutes. We had read together once or twice. I mean, really, we didn't, to be honest with you, like it was so new, and it was so, we've never seen Jonathan, or we don't even know who Jordan Kent really is. He's never really been established in canon. And then Jonathan Kent, only seen pretty much in the comics. And so it's really, really cool. I think we're just beyond excited to be doing this. And it's definitely unique to see not only just the boys for the first time, but Superman dealing with these problems as not only Superman anymore, but now as a father, and just having to deal with these very human problems at home with both his wife and his kids.
The character dynamic and growth already on the show is just phenomenal. Like that's what basically blows my mind. Have you ever thought about that? You got there's some growth in 2-3 episodes of some of your characters.
It's definitely not bad. I think it's there, it's present, and it's pretty tangible. I mean, I think you can definitely see and really feel that growth, especially in the boys, because I think the reason I think is because I think it's necessary when you're bringing a character that's completely new and that nobody has, which is most characters. I mean, in most works of fiction, it's new. If you're starting at the beginning at square one, and especially with these boys, because we've never seen them before in live action versus Clark and Lois, we've seen renditions of before, and we've even seen Tyler and Bitsy's versions of these characters established in the Arrowverse or in the CW verse before. So, I think they wanted to make sure that everyone knows that these characters aren't being placed in there just for the sake of being placed in there, and that they're going to have real arcs and real.
Oh,
we're going to see them be fleshed
arcs.
out. Definitely.
You play, the athletic son plays football and everything. Two questions for you. One, did you play sports growing up? Like, what was that kind of like? And two,
no. I was just saying, I just know. I knew it was coming. No, I did not play sports. I don't mind going into a little more detail.
So what you're saying is you are a very good actor, right?
I guess. Good at
that to me is my favorite part of the show, Jordan. The two sons are different. They both have different kind of ambitions. They both have different interests. I love that. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite part of it.
Even though they're twins, they're fraternal twins.
Yeah,
it's crazy because wildly different. But they still love each other.
That's a really important. That's something that I think is hitting stride with the audience right now. Is they're kind of diving into that world as well. When you made this show, what were you kind of hoping people got out of the dynamic between you and your brother, and kind of looking at that on screen, like you and Alex? Like, what were you hoping they got out of it, like that relationship?
I just wanted it to feel real. I think me and Alex just wanted it to feel like they're really brothers.
Yeah.
Because you see so many shows nowadays and they portray teens or whatever, and it's like, I don't know, it's not real. It's not real. I'm a teenager still, and I was like an actual teenager not too long ago. Being in high school and stuff a few years ago. And I mean, I just, I don't like seeing that like fake like teen angst. And I want it to be real, because there is like, teens really do struggle with mental health issues. Everyone does. And that's part of being human. And I wanted to, and I think, Alex is doing, just a phenomenal job with that character. But I think Jonathan needs to have his own kind of issues as well, and his own feelings and anger. And he's going through a lot to be sort of like this perfect hero, or this perfect, like, I'm going to do this for my family, and I'm making these big sacrifices without any kind of repercussions, would just be entirely unrealistic. So, I mean, I think that definitely that's a big thing. I think that both of us wanted to bring to the table, and that's some conversations we had with Todd and with each other, and we hung out a lot and got very close in real life as well. I've spent a lot of time with Alex now, and I can confidently say that we're very close friends now. And so, going on to set every day, it feels a lot more natural than it did when we first got here. And I think that, and I think it's cool because it plays into the show in the way of like, now these brothers are kind of having to resort to, well, all they have is each other now. Now that they've made this move, it's like they feel like their parents are a little bit different, and it's this massive change, especially their dad. They're not as close to him as they used to be, because he's quite literally an alien now. I mean, he's alienated himself from, can't speak English today, from them in a literal sense. And so he just it's crazy, because it switches everything up. It just turns everything around on its head like that. And so seeing that change was important to us as well.
Absolutely. What you were kind of alluding to is a great segue to the question, because we're going to get a little deep here. I'm going to ask you the middleman questions. Right. This is something that you kind of touched on. I really want to pick your brain. I want your opinion about this. So you mentioned, you're what I call kind of like a young up-and-coming storyteller. You're in this show. People watch you on Superman Lois, right? You're acting. You're doing your thing. But at the same time, you have people that you look up to, but there's also people that look up to you on shows like Superman and Lois as well. So you're kind of like a middleman. Have you ever thought about that at all? It's an interesting thing.
I guess, but isn't everybody in some way? Doesn't everybody kind of have, you know what I mean? I think it's just, to me, it's just like, don't get me wrong. I am incredibly grateful. Yep. It's an amazing experience, but in reality, it's a job. It's a part. It's I'm contributing something, but everyone is in their own way. And to think that, I think it's just incredible that I have this platform and this voice to be able to tell the story and to hopefully, because I know absolutely that growing up, like, man, watching people on screen, dude, like I was just like, watching like I remember, I think the last one I really saw that hit me when I was a kid was probably like Saving Private Ryan, and
Yeah.
seeing like Tom Hanks' performance in that, and then another one was like Flight with Denzel Washington, was one of my favorite movies as a
Oh,
kid
yeah.
growing up. Just like watching the performance was just, it's like mind-boggling. Or,
Yeah.
or like I recently watched Breaking Bad for the first time, and Bryan Cranston. That, like, anytime there was a lead character, and I was just like, that is who I want to be. Like, I want to tell a story like that, and I will not stop doing this until I've reached that goal. And then I'll probably still keep doing it. But it's just so exciting to be in a position where I can tell a story like that, and I can create a character that is hopefully going to be um, loved by many, and hopefully will have a legacy that'll last.
Absolutely. Because that's what you basically do, right? You're a storyteller. That's literally what you do. That's what you guys do.
100%.
Yeah. We're having a good time here. The vibes are good. So I need to ask you this question. Is Jordan Elsass a fan of the dad jokes? Do you appreciate the dad jokes, Jordan?
The dad jokes just in general.
Yeah, because I happen to be a dad joke connoisseur. It's something I do in the show. I have them rapid fire. Like, Jordan, did you hear about the kidnapping?
What kidnapping?
It's okay. He woke up. Or you know what, Jordan? You shouldn't trust stairs. Don't trust the stairs because they're always up to something.
These are good, Dan.
Or remember the time we worked at that shoe factory for like a day, but we both quit because we thought it was soul destroying.
These are good. These are
Or you and Alex went to that restaurant you were telling me about. You said the food was amazing, but there was zero atmosphere because it was on the moon.
It's pretty good. That one I've admittedly heard before, but it's been a long time, so it was refreshing. And now you just kind of popped it back.
Well, I
in
was
my
going to tell you
memory,
the
so
one
now
about. I was going to tell you my construction joke, but you'll have to wait because I'm still working on it. Unfortunately, it's weird, no, because the thing is, let's be honest, like. You guys are doing a lot of interviews, so I need to do something from time to time that's different.
That's totally different. Yeah. I've never heard dad jokes on an interview.
There you go. It's like a Popternative exclusive.
It's refreshing.
I wanted to touch on a little bit of the kind of going back to the nerd culture and the geek culture and everything, and the comic book culture. I mean, that's just kind of a massive, amazing fandom, and the support is unbelievable. What can you tell us about the support that you and the cast have been getting so far, and being part of this like comic book geek nerd culture? Because it's a different culture. Like, it's cool to be a nerd and a geek these days too.
It is. It's definitely cool. No, I mean it's cool because like I like I said sort of at the beginning, what I was touching on, is just like having that positive feedback.
Yep.
Being like, seeing that people really like this show. I mean, obviously there's always any show, there's going to be people that don't like it.
Yep.
But for the most part, people are really enjoying it. And I think that makes us happy. That warms our hearts, and it makes us want to continue to put good work into the show. And I think I can speak for literally everybody on, working on the show. I think I can speak for Alex. I think I can speak for Tyler. I think I can speak for Bitsy and Todd and Greg Berlanti. And, I think that everybody wants to make the show as good as it can possibly be, and to really put something out there that people are going to be surprised by in a really positive way, and they're going to be really happy with what they see, and they're going to hopefully be able to relate to a lot of these characters, especially they're going through tough times in the show. Clark's going through some really tough changes in his life. Mom passes away. It's this big move. His kids are treating him differently. He has to deal with the stranger all of a sudden, and Morgan Edge now, and then Lois is dealing with that, and she's in danger, and it's so much. But it's so digestible too. I feel like correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, it's beautifully, it's pulled off in a way. I mean, the writing is just so beautifully done, where it's seeing all these characters growing and learning and, going through these experiences, but at the same time, it's, these perfect chunks. And so it ends up being a solid kind of arc every episode.
And it looks good too. Like, it looks so good. Like the cinematography, the DPs just hit it out of the park.
It's great. Yeah, it's that 2-to-1 aspect ratio. It's very cinematic looking. Yeah,
absolutely. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course, I appreciate you having me. It was a great talking to you.
So people can watch Superman and Lois right now. It's available right now.
Go watch it, guys.
We're just getting started, basically.
Exactly. It's gonna be hopefully a long and fruitful journey.
Yeah, and where can people follow you on social media to keep update with everything?
Honestly, best place to find me is most place I'm most active would be Instagram. Just my name, Jordan Elsass.
Amazing. Well, seriously, congrats to you and the cast and crew on the show so far, man, and all the best for the future as well, because it's awesome. We love seeing the show.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, this is Jordan Elsass and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.